Hello and welcome to Up South for all the top news stories of the day from South India. I am T.S. Sudhir. Our top story today is from Kollam in Kerala, where 70 students have been hospitalized following a gas leak. Chlorine gas leak took place from the Kerala Minerals and Metals Limited. What is shocking is that this is the second gas leak in 72 hours. 3 days back, some 50 children had been hospitalized. A probe has been ordered and the situation is being closely monitored. And in now news from Bangalore, a murder most foul has taken place. The father of a minor girl who had actually eloped with her lover, the father killed the boy and surrendered to the police, but not before also surrendering with a dead body inside a gunny bag. This is a murder which has shocked Bangalore because of the manner in which it has been carried out. We'll go across to my colleague Rohini Swami in just a little while, but now news from Telangana. Are you a native of Telangana? Now you can prove that only if you have a certified document that shows that your forefathers lived in any part of Telangana region before 1956, and that's a problem most locals are facing because they do not have any certified document to prove so.
Upalya, who works as a senior assistant at Hyderabad's Osmania University, is in a fix because he has no records to prove he and his family have lived in Telangana for generations. The government stipulation that only those whose forefathers lived in Telangana in 1956 can be considered natives of the new state has rendered many like Upalya rootless.
हमारा पापा भी 1950 का पहले वो नौकर था सर, एक पटेल का पास नौकर था. बाद में 80 का बाद एक साड़ी का दुकान चलता था. अभी वो रिकॉर्ड नहीं मिल रहा साहब. अपना बच्चों को बहुत प्रॉब्लम है. वो आंध्र लोग छोड़ो साहब, अपना लोगों को प्रॉब्लम रहता.
1956 was fixed as the cut-off date as that was the year United Andhra Pradesh came into existence. The idea was to deny everyone from Andhra Pradesh any benefits under the Telangana regime. But inability to prove that your grandfather lived in Telangana before 1956 will mean many genuine Telangana people will be left in the lurch.
The Telangana government wants to reimburse the college fee of only those engineering students who have been natives of Telangana since 1956. Hence the introduction of this criteria. But most believe the nativity rule will gradually be expanded to include all government benefits.
हमारा रिकॉर्ड्स भी नहीं है. जो बिल्कुल लैंडलॉर्ड्स है, जब उनके ही रिकॉर्ड्स मिलेगा, मगर आपको बीसीस, एससीस, ट्राइबल्स कोई रिकॉर्ड नहीं मिलेगा. ये सीमांध्र के लोग छोड़ो, सिर्फ तेलंगाना के लिए बहुत बड़ा समस्या है.
Many believe that creating such barriers also goes against the idea of India.
India, which was a symbol of unity, will now be breaking that, and we have started creating boundaries in this way.
This whole thing of giving money.
The government at the moment is merely mouthing platitudes.
They will face problem, but our Telangana people, there is no problem at all.
Okay, right.
Definitely we will identify all those people who are our Telangana people.
One of the ingenious solutions mooted is to junk the 1956 cut-off date and identify Telanganites by their dialect and manner of speaking. An oral test conducted for 4 crore citizens of Telangana state may be well the stuff satires are made of. With T.S. Sudhir in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
But there is no dearth of people who are hero worshipping, or shall I say God worshipping K. Chandrasekhar Rao. In fact, a temple has been built for him in Hyderabad, just a stone's throw away from the Hyderabad International Airport. Pratibha Raman had a darshan of this unique temple.
6 months of preparation and 3 students from Professor Shankar, Telangana State Agriculture University have gotten together to construct this particular temple for the Chief Minister of Telangana, KCR. Sir, don't you think that you're elevating the position of a living person, the Chief Minister of Telangana, to that of God?
Yeah, madam, you are saying he's a living person, we are saying he's a living God to us, the people of Telangana. Why? Because, madam, he has struggled for last few years and at last the dream for Telangana has come true. So we feel happy, we felt very, very happy and we constructed a temple for him and definitely we say that he deserves it.
So, what about Sonia Gandhi ji? There was a temple that was constructed for Sonia Gandhi ji in Karimnagar recently. How different is that temple with this?
Yes, madam, definitely it has got some importance to this temple. Why means for Sonia Gandhi, we have struggled, madam, along with KCR and she gave Telangana state. But for us, we have struggled. KCR has struggled for a lot. So he deserves it. So there is a lot of difference in that.
Right. Did KCR actually come and visit this temple? What was his first reaction?
Yeah, madam. Yesterday, along with KCR, along with his cabinet minister, has visited this temple, and actually, we students we felt very happy. And why we felt very happy means he gave a small smile to that, and so we.
So that smile was enough to tell them that they were really delighted, and that KCR was really pleased with their activity here. With camera person Manohar, Pratibha Raman, Hyderabad. Headlines today.
Now, the temple has already generated enough controversy with the opposition BJP asking if it is fair for a university land to be used to build a temple to be dedicated to the Chief Minister of Telangana state.
ये बहुत गलत है, ये बहुत गलत है। गवर्नमेंट में लैंड में एक यूनिवर्सिटीज में एक व्यक्ति का टेम्पल बनाना किधर भी नहीं है। अगर टेम्पल बनाना है तो आपको इच्छा है तो आपके घर पे बनाना हो, खुद के लैंड पे बना लो, खुद के लैंड पे बना के आप पूजा करो। केसीआर का हमारा कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, मगर ये लैंड गवर्नमेंट का लैंड है, यूनिवर्सिटी लैंड है। यूनिवर्सिटी में कैसा कौन परमिशन दिया, वाइस चांसलर क्या कर रहे हैं, सरकार क्या कर रहे हैं, ये पूछना चाहता हूँ।
A top story from Kollam in Kerala where 70 students have been hospitalized following a chlorine gas leak. Let me cut across to my colleague Rohini Swami who has been tracking that story. Rohini, first, what's the condition of these students?
Well, what we know as of now is that the condition of the students is stable. I've just spoken to the district collector of Kollam and he has said that he is right now also in the hospital. He is seeing to that the condition of the children as of now, they are being given treatment, they are stable as of now. They will be continued to be under observation for 24 hours. But the most important point is that the school where these children were was just 300 meters away from this place, this Kerala Mines and Minerals plant that was there. The chlorine leak that took place yesterday and it continued even today. What we also get to know from the DC is that it was shut down yesterday in spite of the fact that leak continued. And then yesterday around 50 children were affected. They had some breathing trouble. Today again another 70 children have been affected. So now an inquiry, the department inquiry has been asked for. The whole plant has been shut down. More importantly, headed by the ADGP intelligence and forensics experts, they have been asked to submit a report as to what exactly happened and what is the reason behind this whole thing, and also an inquiry into why a school was just 300 meters away from such a place where you can also be contaminated, the air could have been contaminated or even the groundwater could have been contaminated.
Right, Rohini, obviously several questions being raised there relating to safety violations which are pretty glaring. But tell me, I find it very surprising that nothing was done when the previous gas leak took place just about 48 to 72 hours back.
Well, that's the point, because the district collector says that the first set of children, 50 children who complained, this is a school which has from 1st to 10th standard. The first set of children who complained, they took them for respiratory problems, thinking that this leak could be under control. But this happened, according to him, just 24 hours earlier. Today, the next set of children have complained again, and that is a larger number, there's around 70 children. And that is why they decided to shut down the plant and conduct investigations.
Right, Rohini, thanks a lot for joining us with all those details. We'll continue to track this story coming from Kollam in Kerala very, very closely on Up South on Headlines today. Now, news from Tamil Nadu where the theatrics in the DMK never cease. In fact, in the latest episode now, its organizing secretary PV Kalyansundaram has been suspended, and his crime was that he asked for MK Stalin to be anointed as the chief ministerial candidate ahead of the 2016 assembly elections. In fact, in his resignation letter, he also said that tainted leaders like Kanimuri, A. Raja and Dayanidhi Maran should be kept away from the party. But just a day later, Karunanidhi cracked the whip in a way to show his own son that he is still the boss. Joining me now is Jnani Shankaran, political analyst from Chennai. Mr. Shankaran, thanks a lot for joining us. Do you interpret this as Stalin in some way changing gears after pushing out his brother Now he wants to gently nudge his father to tell him that, Dad, my time has come.
It's very obvious that Stalin is getting impatient. See, we must remember that long ago Karnanji has said Stalin would be his successor. So that's actually a settled question. And to kind of reinforce this point, Karnanji even took action against Aragiri, which he should have done even earlier. So he took so long even to take action against Aragiri. So this was all a kind of an indication that Karnanji finally is settling down to business of making Stalin his successor officially. But still, the formal handing over is yet to happen. And one can understand that Stalin gets impatient. After all, we have to understand it is not just Karnanji who is getting old. Stalin is also getting old. Stalin is now in his early 60s and he is also getting old. And so naturally, the party would like to kind of find Stalin at the helm of affairs formally and gear up for the elections which are just about less than 2 years away. So it is very obvious that Stalin and his supporters want to force the issue, and maybe Karnanji should have done this even without being forced to do it. But it's very obvious that the whole thing is a very manipulative exercise in politics to capture and to be settled down in power.
Right. Mr. Shankaran, it's very strange that a resignation letter is actually reciprocated with a suspension letter. But tell me something, would these leaders demand that tainted leaders like Kanimozhi Raja and Dayanidhi Maran should be kept away from elections? Would that be acceptable to Karnanidhi?
See, DMK is going through a real crisis after a long period. In the last elections, it had a huge drubbing. And despite having a good vote share, it had a huge drubbing. At the same time, DMK has to do an introspection on why the party has been faring so badly. In fact, the party has been faring so badly, not simply because Karnanidhi has been encouraging dynastic politics. Stalin, nobody questions Stalin as someone representing dynastic politics. But the day Aragiri came in, the day Kanimozhi came in, the day Raza and others, and particularly Dayanidhi Maran and others, when they came in, the issue of dynastic politics, and these dynastic politicians, close friends like Raza, they were the ones who really brought DMK a lot of disrepute. And if you look at all Karnanidhi's children, Stalin is the only one who has not brought a big disrepute to the party through any major scam.
Right. Thanks a lot, Mr. Jnani Shankaran, for joining us with that perspective from Chennai. Welcome back. You're watching Up South. Now, yesterday we had brought you the shocking story of a huge engineering fraud in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, where just to make 35,000 rupees that the colleges get from the government as reimbursement towards every student's fee, there is a mad rush to admit more students. And what's more shocking, they even go to the extent of offering money, 10,000, 20,000, even 30,000 to the students to take admission. Now the Telangana Education Minister G. Jagdish Reddy has reacted. He expressed extreme surprise when we told him this is what is happening in the engineering state colleges in his own state. Listen in to what the minister had to say.
I don't think so. Any incident.
ऐसा आपके राय में कुछ है?
No, we never identify like that what you are told. Some pilferage is there. Some malpractices are there, but we try to regularize all those things.
Now, worried about the increasing cases of school students being abused inside school premises, the chairperson of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights spent the entire day in Bangalore today listening to parents of school-going children about their woes and their anxieties.
Meeting today was very constructive and positive. In fact, the way I had expected it to go, it has gone even better. The people here, especially the parents, have come up with very concrete proposals, and everybody in their talk here has come out with proposals of what action needs to be taken, rather than just have a negative discussion.
Yes, indeed. Not for the children, because we are trying to keep them safe and we are trying to refrain them from these trauma. We are trying to give them personal counseling as well. So we are trying to make it as normal as possible for the children. However, for as parents, yes, our lives have changed. Because the day when we came to know about it, I was having tea at home and suddenly this news came and we had to rush to school, and from that day onwards, that minute onwards, life has changed.
It's a very wonderful school. I mean, my son used to love going to the school, and today I'm like, I have a son going there, irrespective of whether it's a boy or a girl. I have another daughter too. And I can put my daughter in her, I mean, the little girl's Masum Ria's place and see that, this has happened at school on his, wherever he studied, he goes to third floor. I mean, if it happened on the same, the floor, I mean, it is so unfortunate with kids around it's happened. And there is some, in spite of that, I mean, had it been in this, if there's any accountability by the management, right, that would have changed, I mean, that would have allayed some of the fears. But then today, we don't know what's going on. The investigation starts and the commissioner is changed, the deputy commissioner is changed, and it seems I've come to understand that the CWC members, I mean, some of them have been changed. And so what is happening when we don't know whether it's like there's something going on from behind. That's what I feel.
India's younger state, Telangana, has decided to ring in its first Independence Day celebrations in style and in keeping with history. So if Prime Minister Narendra Modi will deliver his first Independence Day speech from the Red Fort, Telangana's Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao will do so from Hyderabad's Golconda Fort.
History is set to repeat itself at the Golconda Fort in Hyderabad. The fort that was witness to military parades between 1890 and 1940 during the rule of the 6th and the 7th Nizam of Hyderabad will see the Independence Day parade for the first time this year. The brainwave of Telangana Chief Minister KCR, who will take the salute at the imposing fort on the 15th of August.
It was the seat of power for various dynasties that ruled this part of the world. The first recorded history of Golconda Fort is supposed to be around 1164 AD. But what documents we have in the state archives, they say it's about 1364 AD that the fort came into the control of the Bahmanis, the first major Muslim dynasty to rule Deccan.
Heritage lovers say the decision to move the Independence Day parade from the parade grounds in Secunderabad to Golconda Fort will focus attention on the imposing structure. They invariably play second fiddle to the younger Charminar when it comes to being the symbol of Hyderabad.
I think this is very much part of our being, that we are aware it's there, we have grown up with it, and it's just that previous governments were not interested. I think it's there in his mind. And it's very much part of this new concept that I feel very much. I feel a sense of identity, I feel a sense of ownership, and I feel a sense of belonging.
The sound and light show at the Golconda Fort is a favorite with tourists. This Independence Day will witness sound and light show of a different kind. With Pratibha Raman in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
That's it then on Up South this Thursday evening. News and updates will continue on Headlines Today.